Hello and welcome back to KSP Real Solar System campaign. Yes, we are going to launch our rescue mission today. This is a pretty important mission, seeing as the lives of 3 Kerbal astronauts are at stake here, and I really don't want to lose another full crew of Kerbals to yet another stupid mistake. This time I messed up with the parachutes and forgot to put parachutes on my lunar mission. So, and the last time, of course, it was the lack of electricity that killed the crew. But I'm determined that this time it will not end with the death of 3 Kerbals. So, well, the rescue spacecraft is pretty simple actually. It's just a 3-man pod with a service module and plenty of RCS for orbital maneuvering, as we are going to have to do quite a lot of that. We also have a pretty powerful booster underneath this spacecraft. It has a second stage with 3 J2 engines and then a first stage with 3 F1 engines that you just saw. The Mars 3 spacecrafts went into a orbit around Earth that was highly eccentric and far from ideal for pulling off this kind of landing. So we might have to spend quite a lot of delta V to do plane change maneuvering. I tried to minimize that, but it's a bit difficult, and I didn't know well enough how to align the plane with the target spacecrafts properly. But I think I've, at least to some extent, gotten a nice launch. We don't have to actually dock these 2 spacecrafts, and the rescue spacecraft is not designed to dock. It has no docking ports. The idea is just to put this rescue spacecraft close enough to the other spacecraft, Mars 3, and then have the crew transfer with their EVA packs, and hopefully also taking the science with them. So we actually have to do a pretty big plane change correction error of about 10 degrees, and that of course takes quite a bit of delta V, but again, we have so much delta V in this rocket that yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine. And now that we have our first of several encounters, I think, or closest approaches, I guess we'll just have to wait until the right moment to fire up our engines again. So I need to do some planning here, I think, because this area where we are going to have that close approach, there aren't any ground stations, so I'll have to see if I can find any satellites to connect to. So I'm going to see, we're back with the Mars 3 spacecraft by the way, I'm going to see if I can connect this with a rescue spacecraft and use that as a connection to the Earth. So just need to find Mars 4 should be down here at the bottom, I think. Here we go. So we'll connect those and see if that works. Hopefully it will. I'll have to start the burn, I think, 4 minutes before we get to the closest approach. So I'm just going to use that as my indicator. So that should be pretty soon actually. And we at least do have connection through the Mars 3 spacecraft, so I guess the astronauts on board there that we are going to rescue are actually controlling the spacecraft in a sense. So we need to slow us down by 1300 meters per second, but we have 2 kilometers of delta V in the tank, so it should be alright. And now this is just going to burn for a little bit. So we have almost completed our burn. For some reason it does say we have no connection, but we clearly do. I guess we just don't have any connection to any ground station, we just have connection to the spacecraft. But that's alright. Yeah, I still have full control here. Ooh, I don't want to burn too much, because this is costing quite a bit of fuel. And so we have a little under 600 left, but we now need to kill quite a bit of velocity, which is not ideal. I'm also going to use some of my RCS to do this. Kill our velocity yet again. This time we should hopefully get a better encounter. I don't have too much fuel to spare here. So let's see now. Oh, I'm going to switch to just using RCS. You can see we're not going to get our best approach, I mean, right here, but we are going to get it by doing one more orbit, and we get around here. We'll get a pretty nice encounter, I think, or approach, I mean, at well, let's see how low we can get that, but it's yeah, 26 kilometers or thereabouts. We'll have to kill a bit more velocity once we get there. About, well, 150 kilometers. No, meters per second, I mean. We still have 450 in the tank, so it's still good to go in the Delta V department. Yet again, we have to kill the relative velocity, but this time we are just under 5 kilometers away from our target, so we are almost getting to the point where we can just transfer the crew via EVA. So there we go. Yeah, can get, preferably you should get below 1 kilometer. Let's see if we can't aim for that. Should be doable, I think. Just keep firing the RCS. 0.7. Okay, you need to point us it in a slightly different direction now. Down here, have a look now. We can maybe we should just settle for 0.8. I mean, that's pretty good. Or 0.7, 0.6. Oh, let's go. Keep going in a little bit. 0.5, 0.4, 3, 2. Yep, that is good enough. So finally, it looks like we are going to pull it off. All that really remains now is cancelling the last bit of relative velocity and then transferring the crew to the rescue capsule. Then we'll do a short deorbit burn and get our crew back to Earth. So now we're just going to start transferring our crew over there. This rescue spacecraft has no docking ability. So what is going on here? Why is this burning? That is kind of strange. I have no idea why that's happening. Right, we'll see. and then get back in. Oh, come on. Oh. There we go. Now, finally! Finally, we brought all of our crew back safely to the rescue craft. So we are going to return them safely to the Earth now. You just need to do one last thing. The deorbit burn. Yeah, I'm going to go for a periapse of 67 kilometers. So hopefully that will be alright. Now let's see. The only thing that's left now is to go for the actual deorbit, or re-entry I mean. We've done the deorbit already. You can see we're right above Hawaii there. And some of the Pacific Islands. Turn around. And I doubled up on the parachutes there. So in case this main parachutes fail, we have 3 more spare parachutes. I just overcompensated because I completely undercompensated on the parachutes last time, to put it that way. So if some of them fails, we always have some spare left. Going to go for decoupling now. We still have some RCS up here, so we have some control over the spacecraft as we go for our re-entry. So the heat shield should be capable of handling that just fine, I think. So the G-forces might also be a problem here. I don't know what kind of G-forces we're going to hit eventually, but we are at 2 Gs, almost 3 Gs now, and it's still climbing, and it's going to climb for a little while still. Oh, now it's really starting to climb rapidly, up to 6 Gs now. Ooh, 7 Gs, and up to it peaks out at a little over 7 Gs. And we have survived this. Getting ready to deploy our parachutes. We'll deploy them at 8 kilometers. I'm just going to deploy the main parachute at first. Yep, there we go. We are going to hit the ocean with a velocity of 6.7 meters per second. Which our spacecraft handled just fine. It now just needs to be picked up by the US Navy or whatever. So, after a little bit of extra trouble at the end here, we did actually return our crew safely back. So we have successfully completed our first lunar landing, manned lunar landing. And that is a big milestone for our space program. Now, we have 370 science to spend after that mission. So we'll have a look at what kind of modules we can research. This is kind of tempting, because this is improved electrics, which gives us more powerful antennas. The antennas used on the Voyager and the Pioneer 10/11 missions. This also gives us the RTGs, which we are really going to need for deep space exploration. So researching this will open up a lot of potential missions in the future. I'm thinking about the outer gas giants like Jupiter and so on. So we're going to research that. Still have some points to spend. Precision engineering. This is going to give us another scientific experiment, I think. The gas chromatograph, or however that is pronounced. So we are going to research that as well. So once we have researched this, I think it's time to time to stop focusing on the moon for a little bit, although we are going to go back there eventually. But I think it's time now to go deeper into space. We need to go out to Mars, definitely, but we'll also have a look at going to Jupiter, for example. Now that we have all the modules we need for those kind of deep space exploration missions. So, but that is going to be it for this episode of KSP Real Solar System Campaign. I sure hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you will watch my future videos as well. So, take care and bye.